Amy from the O for Food's Sake podcast. We are talking to you every day on the run up to our masterclass, which is all about building your network. Today, we wanted to give you a couple of tips for in-person networking, because I think this is the one that most people find the most awkward.
And I think it's the one that when you say the word networking, it's what people think about. And a lot of what we're going to share in the masterclass is that building a network doesn't always have to be about in-person events, but it is inevitable that you will be, even if you don't actively go after a networking event, there will be some event or some conference that you'll be at, and there's the networking bit, and we all go, where's the toilet? How can I look at my phone? What can I do to avoid it? So we want to share a couple of tips that are going to help with that. And we're not going to pretend it's easy, because I mean, it's easy for some people, but it's not easy for us.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I have found is really useful is to almost set yourself a target before you go in. And it's not like I'm going to get through and talk to as many people as possible. It might be, it depends how you're feeling, doesn't it? I always talk about the days where you're feeling a bit drippy. Like if it is literally just talking to one person before you allow yourself to go and hide in the toilet and use your phone or whatever, but maybe three, it depends on the length of the thing. I think setting yourself that target and not saying that it's got to be a really long conversation, because it's all about it's getting over that initial, it just feels like the playground, doesn't it? That initial, hello, will you be my friend? Will you talk to me? You can see the people that are maybe feeling the same way as you can like buddy up with them, but you can also, if there are specific people that are on the list, like be brave and say, as long as I speak to this one or two people, then I'm allowed to go and hide by the buffet.
Yeah. And you can,
and I think,
for a lot of events, you can see who is going to be there. So you can there might be people that you know. I remember a few years ago, we bumped into each other at a networking event, and I was so pleased to see you because it was a familiar, happy, friendly face to talk to.
Yeah.
And so that can just immediately make you feel better about the whole thing.
Yeah.
But also remember that there's a reason that you're there. And I think a lot of the time we can feel quite intimidated, and like the imposter in us comes out in force. And it's worth reminding yourself that you deserve to be there. The people that are there are going to be pleased to see you. You have something to offer. You deserve to be there as much as everybody else. So try and enjoy it and embrace it and see it as an opportunity.
I think it's a really good point, and that whole, you do deserve to be there. And one thing I found is, and I've done this particularly since I've been self-employed, is to have something of value to say, or have an articulate way of saying what you do for a living, which can be hard when you're effectively somebody like us that are entrepreneurs that do lots of different things. But be really specific about that, and maybe have a couple of things to talk about. If there's something in the news at the moment, or or something like HFSS to talk about, have like a couple of topics ready that you've researched that you can talk to somebody about if you need to, because that it's all about that feeling more prepared as you go in, isn't it?
And it takes the pressure off you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And there's so much of this type of thing to share, isn't there, that we've experienced. And I think it's one of those topics that you kind of know it's important to build your network, but you don't really think about the detail behind it, which is why we really wanted to do this masterclass. So come and join us.
Give you actual practical tips.
Yeah,
because
it's one of those things you don't talk about it that much.
Yeah.
But it's such a useful tool for you to have.
Yeah.
So come and join us Wednesday 28th at 12:30, and if you can't make it, we will send you the recording.
Hopefully see you there.